All right. Thank you all. Apologies for the delay. We will be getting started. There are still some technical issues happening. Hello, folks. My colleagues out there, hello. We're going to get started. Apologies for the delay, but we'll be hopefully getting some help in about 15 minutes. For now, we'll be having public comment. We're going to delay public comment until after that. So, well, let's do roll call.
Because Chairperson Goldstein is joining remotely, Sally Alpert will be chairperson tonight's meeting. Okay, so Chairperson Alpert.
Present.
Commissioner Roeder.
Here.
And Vice Chairperson Goldstein.
Yes, Chair. All right. So why don't we, I'm going to ask us to skip public comment for now and move that to, as we take up, so I'm going to skip public comment right now. I'm going to approval and adoption of the agenda. I'm going to ask that we put item 3, public comment, after item 6, so that hopefully we can get some technical assistance in before then, so folks on Zoom can give their comment. And then Heidi, did you want to do the closed session today, or do we want to continue that so that we can all participate in person?
I think it's going to depend on how late we run. We're getting a late start, so why don't we, if we can, leave that open for determination when we get to the item.
Okay.
We do have a hard stop at 7:30.
All right, so for those who couldn't hear, she's asking us to leave that open. So we'll leave it on the agenda, but we may end up continuing that when we get to it, to our next month's meeting. Are there any other things that we should be considering as we consider the agenda? Any requests for moving items off of consent? All right, hearing none.
With that, I'll move adoption of the agenda with the change in the public comment period.
Correct. And I will second. And can we have a roll call vote?
Roll call?
We have to. Everything has to be a roll call.
Sorry.
Because Heidi's on Zoom.
So I just did the roll call. I mean,
No, a roll call vote. Every motion we take has to be a roll call because there's remote participation.
I'm so sorry. So motion, who's making the motion?
I made the motion to approve the agenda with a change in the timing of the of public comment.
Okay. And then
I seconded.
the second. Okay. So. Oh, so sorry. Chairperson Alpert.
And you can just call me vice chair. She's still chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Alpert and Commissioner Roeder.
Yes.
And then Heidi.
Heidi just said aye.
Great. All right, all in favor. Then we'll move to approval of the meeting minutes. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes of either the June 25th meeting or the August 6th special meeting?
I did not have any changes.
And Heidi, or Chairperson Goldstein?
No changes to everything.
All righty. And
I move approval of the minutes for June 25th and for August 6th.
And I'll second, and we'll do a roll call on that as well.
Vice Chair Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roeder.
Yes.
And Chairperson Goldstein.
Aye.
Great. All right, and that's the minutes. We'll now go to reports. So we'll hear first from the union. Would an officer of the union like to give a report? And feel free to take your time so that... It's a joke, just because it'll give us time for IT to get here, but I meant when you're speaking, not when you're talking. Though I suppose both are fine.
I'm just kidding. All right, good afternoon.
Is it on?
Listeners. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, let me do this right there. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Good day, good afternoon, Commissioners, and welcome back to another school year. Is that a good tone? Okay. So on behalf of BCCE, we want to begin by saying how important it is that we continue working collaboratively, always keeping in mind what is in the best interest of our classified members and the students and the families that we serve. We would like to acknowledge the successful job fair that was held on August 5th in partnership with the Personnel Commission and HR and BCCE. It was a tremendous success with the live scan, fingerprinting, testing, and onboarding all happening at the same time in one place. It truly took a team effort, and I want to thank everyone who tirelessly worked to make that happen. As always, BCCE stands firm on no contractors. So we know that there is still work to do in this area, and we are hopeful that more events like this will continue moving us towards our goal of filling positions with permanent trained district employees. So alongside hiring, we must also focus on training. It's not enough just to get people through the doors. We were looking at once fingerprinting is clear and offer letters are signed, training should begin promptly. Proper onboarding and support from the very start will help ensure that people we hire are the people we keep. BCCE has also shared with the school board our 4 A's, which speaks to the standards of accountability, accessibility, advocacy, and appreciation. We believe these apply to all of us as leaders in the district, including this body. So finally, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the recent tragedy in Minnesota, which has deeply saddened many of us. It is a sobering reminder that our responsibility is not only to our members, but also to protecting our district, our students, our families, and each other. So that concludes BCCE's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the district report. Were you going to be giving the district report? Otherwise, we can delay the district report until we see if Zoom comes back online, either way.
You want to do like my report until they come back?
Well, that's because you're here in person. They can hear us on Zoom, but if someone from the district wants to give the report on Zoom, then they can't. So,
You can get the report in person.
great. That's fine.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Alex Billett. I'm the Director of Human Resources. Our department, as well as Personnel Commission staff, have been working tirelessly to onboard and support as many new employees as possible over the last several weeks. I don't have the exact number, but I want to say we were looking to fill something like in the high 60s alone for IA SPED 2 positions. And I would estimate that I think we're at something like 30 plus filled at this point. 45, actually. And as Mildred mentioned, the job fair was quite successful. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, next up is commissioner reports. I'll turn to Commissioner Roeder.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to a new school year. I, too, want to thank our staff, Aaron and all of our staff, and Samantha, Tobias Espinoza, and the HR staff, and the BCCE leadership, who all participated in a very successful job fair for IA SPEDS and for the after-school program. We'll be talking about the IA SPEDS a little bit later in our agenda. Yes, I think that's all that I have to say right now.
Thank you very much. Does Chair Goldstein want to make a report? I don't know if she'll be able to, but we can try.
I think I'll keep it fairly brief, how we're transmitting this.
Can folks in the room hear her?
Alex?
Let's pause because they can't hear her.
Heidi, I think we really can't hear you, so
we're going to see if maybe we can push back your report.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to see if we could push back your report.
Can you?
Heidi can hear us.
We get terrible echo. I mean, we can try one more time. I think it'll be a bad echo.
Heidi, can you try talking into the,
Sure. I think you're still getting echo.
there's an echo.
Yeah, let's, Heidi, we'll definitely come back to you. Let's go to consent first, and then we'll go to her report along with we can't do consent before we do public comment, though.
It's okay.
Let's take, geez.
Any other commissioner reports?
I'll give mine, which is just, I don't have lots more to say about the job fair when we discuss it, but fantastic job to the personnel commissioner staff and the district staff and the union. Hugely successful event, and I know that it will not be the only one. The success is also in giving us a model for more events to come in the future. So I look forward to hearing that report when we discuss it. At this point, let's go to the director's report, and then hopefully we may have to take a little break at that point before we take up our next item. But we'll see if we get help before.
Does Commissioner Broder have a report?
He gave his report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any additional comments? No, at this time? No. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and give my report. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Personnel Commission meeting, first Personnel Commission meeting of the new school year. It's been a very busy and productive summer for us, but we're very grateful for the work and collaboration with all of you that's brought us here to this point. I'm going to start tonight by going over the personnel activity report for the month of June. In June, the Personnel Commission, we conducted a total of 96 exams, and we averaged about 4.8 exams per workday. While there were no new hires or promotions processed during this period, we did oversee key recruitments for instructional tech before and after school and instructional assistant to SPED and other specialized roles. Additionally, the PC staff worked diligently to create the classified summer school assignments for a total of 136 employees, which allowed 10-month employees to work during the summer school months. And then moving on to July, in July, our activity increased significantly with 177 exams administered. We averaged about 8 exams per day. We also processed 7 personnel actions for including new hires, promotions, and reclassifications. The highest testing volume was for school campus aides, IA2 SPEDs, and instructional tech before and after school program. The commission made a commitment to run these recruitments every 2 weeks in the summer and the fall months to staff as many vacant positions as possible. And then additionally, we did hold a special personnel commission meeting during the summer on August 6th, and reclassifications were approved for several employees in the newly created IA BEARS, IA ECE, and IA transitional kindergarten roles. Most employees were classified at that point, but those with less than 2 years in the role were not eligible. So for those employees, the district and the union are working on an MOU to address those updates. And then this is going to be a little repetitive in regards to our recruitment and hiring event, but we had almost 90 people attend. And as Mildred said, many people were able to apply, test, and start onboarding on the same day. So, so far we have 45 candidates that have been onboarded, and then we have another 45 that have applied and are either they've undergone testing or they've been invited to test. The event was a team effort, as Mildred said, with the help of HR. BCCE had a table out there set up, and we also had a lot of support from site staff to secure the location. So our our staff worked really hard on this. They helped get the word out. We advertised on multiple platforms. Staff drove to neighboring colleges and universities. They connected with career centers and sent staff reminders. And so we also had support from the communications department, and they got our event posted on various social media outlets and newsletters. So as we'll see later in the evening, this event gave us like a real momentum in filling these special ed positions, and we look forward to building on future events. So this concludes my report, and again, I appreciate the collaboration with everyone, and I'm confident that the progress we made over the summer is going to set us up strongly for the start of the school year.
Thank you very much. So at this point, do we want to, just thinking about what we can and can't do, now would be when we would do public comment and Heidi's comment. We could start with public comment in the room, general public comment, and then see, I think we'll probably have to take a recess after that. And see if we can fix the problem. So let's do that. Now would be the time for public comment from any individual in the room on any items on our agenda or not on our agenda within our purview. Yes. We can do that when we get to that item. So if there's nothing else other than that, I think that we will take a recess. How long? 10 minutes? 10-minute recess, and we'll come back. So thank you all for your patience as we deal with these technical difficulties.
You need to speak up, I think.
If we turn that on, you're gonna get feedback.
Okay, so all right, thank you all for that longer than 10-minute break. I appreciate everyone's patience, and thank you to district staff for coming out and helping us with the technology. We're jury-rigging it a little bit, but it seems like this will work for our purposes for now. So why don't we go back to, we did public comment, we didn't hear any public comment. Is there anyone on the Zoom who would like to give comment? Are there any hands? Put your hand up now if you'd like to give comment. Seeing none, we'll go to Commissioner Goldstein's comments.
No comments.
There you go. All right, so then we'll go to our consent items. So I believe our executive director had a brief comment on the consent items about ISPED.
Yeah, I was going to propose including them.
Oh, I'm talking about just the reason for the lists.
Yes. So I just wanted to point out a change to the list that we brought forward at this meeting. You're gonna see multiple lists with the same expiration date. And the reason that is because we ran multiple recruitments in the same month. And typically we will merge the list. But I wanted to highlight how these recruitments were done separately. And so that is why you are seeing multiple lists with the same position. And
that applies to ISPED and IT,
Instructional tech.
BASP, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Go ahead.
Quick question, Aaron, follow up on what you just said, and that is, generally, we try to have the eligibility list approved before the individuals get hired and are offered the job and all of that. So first off, am I correct that for some of these individuals on the eligibility list, they've already been offered positions and maybe even onboarded, and you'll probably talk about that a little bit more later, but is that understanding correct?
yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so, I don't have a problem with that. It's a deviation from our usual practice, but understanding that we need these positions filled, and time is of the essence in getting them filled before they go off to another position, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think we should try to make this a practice. I think we should try to come up with a system, if we can, that still has the eligibility list approval first, and then the hires come after that.
Yeah, I mean, typically the director can certify the list and then send the eligibles right away to the hiring manager. But in the time that it takes to interview and hire, that list will have already gone to the commission meeting. However, with these particular recruitments, because we streamlined recruitment, we're just moving ahead of everything. And we didn't meet over the summer, so it made it a little more important to get it done before we brought it to the meeting.
Thank you.
Commissioner Goldstein, would you like to add any?
No, nothing to add other than, it's a lot of good work. These were fairly quick turnarounds, and I'm just blown away that we had 5 ranks for school bus driver. I recall, our executive director telling us that we partnered with, a different organization, and obviously it yielded some results. So glad to see that.
Awesome. And I will echo Commissioner Roeder's comments. I think that generally it's not a good practice, but I think this is the exception to the rule. And in this case, every effort to make it the IA and IT positions as quick as possible in hiring is critical. Is there a motion on the consent calendar?
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
And is there-
will second.
Awesome. Motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote?
Sure. Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roeder.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Next will be our conference items. We'll start with our step advance requests. We're gonna take each up individually. Yeah, all right. We have quite a few of these, so we'll try and keep them quick for the purpose of getting through our agenda. But I will turn it over to our executive director.
Sure. So this first item is a request for advanced step placement for Amanda McCarthy. She's a newly hired instructional assistant to SPED. Ms. McCarthy brings nearly 4 years of experience supporting students with significant needs in both public schools and specialized programs. And she has completed training in behavior intervention strategies and is proficient in American Sign Language. Given her qualifications and the recruitment challenges in this role, a step 4 placement is recommended. I believe that Ms. McCarthy might be in the room, and if she's welcome to come and speak to the item if she likes.
Feel free to whatever you'd like to say. You can say nothing at all or just introduce us to your.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda McCarthy. I'm a newly hired IA for BUSD. Last year I worked as an IA as well, but through an outside contractor known as the Stepping Stones Group. Like they mentioned, I do have almost 4 years of experience working with kids with disabilities. And my goal in the future is to become a special ed teacher. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Thank you for being here today. I'll ask my colleagues, are there any questions or comments on this item? Go ahead, Izzy.
Ms. McCarthy, would you mind?
Oh.
So let's see. First of all, congratulations
Thank you.
for being hired
Thank you.
at BUSD. We thank you very much for applying, for going through all this rigorous process, and for becoming a member of our community, our family
you.
here at BUSD. I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Now, you may be aware, this is just something, an aside, you may be aware, since you mentioned you were thinking of becoming a teacher,
Mhm.
that there is a program available at BUSD. Do you know about
Yes,
that?
that's actually one of the reasons why I applied.
Super,
Yeah.
okay, so I won't say anything more about
Yeah.
that. Then my other question is
Mhm.
sort of what brought you to want to be an IA SPED at BUSD?
Well, the thing is I actually worked for Hayward Unified School District during COVID. I had to take a break during COVID just because I was living with my parents. So I had to take a break from working with kids. I'm actually, this is gonna be my third year living in Berkeley. Well, I don't live in Berkeley no more. I just moved over the summer. But my goal was really to get back into working with kids because that's what I really love to do. And I've always wanted to be a teacher ever since I was smaller. So that's maybe like my main priority is to get back into like.
I guess what I'm getting at, because, you know, our job here
Mhm.
is recruitment. We're trying very, very hard to come up with ideas for recruiting IA speds and others to BUSD. And so what I'm kind of getting at is there anything about BUSD? And if the answer is no, that's fine. But is there anything about BUSD that could be useful for us in future recruitments for other applicants to interest them in coming to BUSD?
I think the one thing that stepped out for me the most to apply through BSD, it was actually my school. I feel like my students' parents were really advocating for me, and it just feels like through BUSD, I feel like a family. So every day when I go to work, it seems like not just work, it seems like a family. Like, I feel like everyone helps out everyone, and that's like a big thing when it comes to like the school system, right? Everyone has to work with everyone in order to have a good day. So I feel like in Berkeley, I feel like it's not just for like everyone's like my family at my job.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, you've answered my question.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I think you're tremendously qualified, and I'm completely in favor of the step increase.
Okay, thank you.
Heidi,
No questions. I'm good with this.
awesome. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Chair Goldstein and second by Commissioner Roeder. We have a roll call vote.
Sure. Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert,
Aye.
Commissioner Roeder.
Yes.
Alrighty. Next up, we have step advance request for S. Jones.
So this item is a request for advanced step placement for Samara Jones. She's also newly hired instructional assistant 2 in special ed. Ms. Jones has over a decade of experience in education and youth development, including recent work as a contractor for BUSD. She holds multiple certifications, including crisis intervention training, and has consistently demonstrated her commitment to educational equity and student success. And so given her strong background and current service to district, step 5 placement is recommended.
All right. Is Ms. Jones interested in giving comment?
You can see me? Good evening, everyone.
There, actually. This thing right here.
Oh.
I don't know how it works. It's
Okay.
new for me too.
Sorry. Okay, I can see myself. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Samara Jones, and I am a new BUSD employee. I am an IA2 for the SPED department. I'm excited to be here. Like the candidate before me, I was informed about the opportunity to go back to school or for schooling to become a teacher, and I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Oh, you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm excited to just be a part of the team. And I'm looking forward to my future, a successful future with BUSD.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any questions from our commissioners?
Sure.
None for me.
Welcome, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for completing this process. I won't repeat all the things that I said to Ms. McCarthy, but they apply to you equally. And you're obviously tremendously qualified. And we look forward to you being a part of our BUSD family and having a wonderful career here at BUSD. And I guess my question is similar to the one I asked Ms. McCarthy. Is there anything about the recruitment process that you could give us any kind of suggestions? Your feedback, because you just went through it, would be so useful to us. If there are any improvements we could make, if there's anything in particular that you think we could highlight to other applicants that might bring them into the BUSD family.
Well, I know that for myself, I was placed on the eligibility list for 2 years before I got a call back to even take the test. And so I think maybe if that's something that, especially if you guys, or if the district is in dire need of IAs for the SPED or just regular IAs, period, that maybe that's something that you want to not really rush through, but not take 2 years to do. Maybe 6 to 9 months or 9 months to a year, so that we can hurry and onboard the people, get them trained and get them going so that everybody is in their positions and just ready to go. The process for that was easy, which was great. The testing, everything was online, which was awesome. The communication from the HR staff was awesome. Yeah, I think my only qualm with the hiring process was the waiting period. That was really,
Can I ask a question about that? You were a BUSD contractor
um,
at some point?
yes, I was.
There was a misunderstanding in regards to hiring contractors.
Yes, I spoke with the head of the SPED, and she was telling me that, and this is something, I don't know if you guys have any control over that, or if it's a state issue or a city issue, but when an employee is a contracted employee and we're working through the agency with BUSD or whatever district, we cannot get hired on to the district that we want to work with for about 2 or 3 months. And I was like, why? Because I'm ready to leave the agency now to come and work with the district, straightforward, like now. And so that red tape, it wasn't like a buzzkill, but it was
Barrier.
kind of like, yeah, kind of like a barrier, like, what do you mean? Like, I'll quit today if you just hire me within the next couple of weeks, so that I know that I have better options and better choices when it comes to working directly with the district versus working with the agency. There's no support at an agency like there is working directly for a school district. So like I said, I don't know if the district controls that or the state or whatever, but that's definitely something that should also be addressed as well, is that red tape up in hiring agency people straight to the district. Right away versus having to make them wait. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's great.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, thank you.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I move approval of the step increase. Ms.
I
Jones.
second.
All right, can we have a roll call vote?
Sure. Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roder.
Enthusiastically, yes.
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is
Benji.
Benji Tukinski?
I thought it was Tuchin.
Tuzinski. Yes. Motion and then second by Goldstein.
Okay, so this next item is also a request for advanced step placement for Benji Tuchinski. He's a newly hired IA2 SPED. Mr. Tuchinski holds a bachelor's degree and a substitute teaching permit, and he's currently pursuing a master's in education and social justice. He has more than 10 years of experience providing academic intervention and behavioral support in both general and special education settings. So in recognition of his strong educational background and his extensive experience, a step 5 placement is being recommended.
Thank you. Is Mr. Tukinski here to speak?
I don't believe he's on Zoom, and I don't believe.
All right, is there any questions or motion?
Don't have any questions, but I think that Mr. Tuzinski is eminently qualified, and I would move step 5 increase.
And
And
Commissioner
I'll
Goldstein?
second.
All righty, and we'll have a roll call vote.
Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roder,
Yes.
All righty. Next up, we have Kay Johnson.
So this item is another request for advanced step placement for Kim Johnson, an IA2 sped. Ms. Johnson has over 9 years of experience in education and therapeutic support roles, including 6 years of direct experience working with special education students. She has expertise in implementing IEPs and behavior intervention plans, and her credentials include the CBEST, CPR, and specialized suicide intervention training. Step 5 placement is recommended to recognize her extensive qualifications and also to help us attract and retain these highly skilled staff. I believe Ms. Johnson is here, and so she's welcome to
Go ahead.
to the podium.
Hi. My name is Kim Johnson. I just want to say that I landed the gig for the career fair. I'm kind of gonna address things in a strange order. Suggestion off the bat would be joining career fairs outside of the Bay Area. I would have appreciated having this job before moving here. Initially, I was an agent, contracted by an agency in Sacramento, and they had led me to believe I would have security, like a secure job here. Unfortunately, that was not. It's not something they were able to uphold on their end. And by some strike of luck on Indeed, I did see the marketing for the IA2 position. And a majority, if not actually all of my experience in direct service in the classroom and in home was with a contractor. I feel that there's more peace of mind to working for the school district than I anticipated. And that could be another way to market the position, is explaining like it's kind of a moral issue of contractors versus the districts, which was a perpetual issue as far as pay. In Sacramento City Unified, San Juan Unified, Twin Rivers Unified School District, up where I was. And I don't want to reiterate my experience, but I feel like what training was lacking also in the school districts I worked for is, to be frank, missing here as well. If it weren't for my sheer lack of experience, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable asking for a step 5, but I definitely feel qualified. Step 5.
Thank you. Questions?
Well, again, as I've said many times already, thank you. Thank you for joining BUSD and our family. I hope and I think you will find it a family atmosphere, and we are receptive to your ideas. And so when you have them, certainly your union representatives and others can, advance them. And you've already given us some really good suggestions. I also think your qualifications, they speak for themselves, and your education and experience, and that's fantastic. You mentioned the marketing in the sense of peace of mind and things like that, but I think you mentioned that you had seen marketing for the position at BUSD, and you decided to apply even before the job fair. If that's true, can you tell us what that marketing that you saw, what did you see that led you to BUSD? If you remember.
On Indeed, that's where I saw the posting. I think it was just like this, like castle in the sky idea of some security.
Yeah.
Knowing that if a child is absent that I'm assigned to doesn't show up, that I have work.
Right.
And that's something that, as much as I love the school setting, it happened to me at least 5 times a month as a
In Sacramento?
In Sacramento, yeah. So
They didn't pay you if you,
it depends.
Jesus.
Like one time I showed up and the student didn't show up for an hour. And I did get compensated but then in a similar situation on a different day, they said I could only bill for a certain amount of time. And it's really frustrating to not have structure. And I just kind of safely assumed that be it a Berkeley Unified School District, there would be structure. And I was very pleased to know that they're pushing contractors out. That's just my personal idea, so that the people within can get better pay, better benefits, and the school district can focus its attention on recidivism. So I think that was mainly, yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Goldstein?
No questions. I'm supportive of this.
All right, is there a motion?
All motion.
Go ahead.
And a
I'll
second?
second.
Alrighty, is there a roll call vote? Or can we have a roll call vote, rather?
Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair
Aye.
Commissioner Roder,
Yes.
All right, next up is, oh, and thank you to all of our folks in person. We appreciate you coming and your suggestions. Yes, and if you have any other suggestions or anything you want to let us know, feel free to, email us or also email your union representative. I encourage you to talk to Frank and Mildred. Yeah,
I
please.
just didn't understand the question, but now I do. Something that I would change for like new people that are wanting to transition to become a BUSD IA is the testing process. I just feel like during the testing process, it was a really overwhelming while taking the test because you're looking at yourself on the camera and the time is ticking. And nobody really told me like what we could use there, like if we could use scratch paper, because some of the stuff that we were trying to do, you can't really do mentally. Sometimes you can. So I just feel like
More clear.
more clear,
rules.
like the rules, like
Yeah.
can we like look down? Are we supposed to look at the screen the whole time? And of course I knew like transitioning from a contractor through to BUSD, it wasn't going to be like a smooth. There's going to be like rocks and bumps in the road. So that's something that I would change, would be making the testing process a lot more smoother. I would also say that one thing that's really great is that the emailing is really good. Like, for example, I've been emailing Sarah a lot and she's very quick at replying to me. So that's very helpful to me
Great to
because,
hear.
I'm pretty busy during the day working. So when I get home, I'm able to check my emails and she replies really fast. So that's something that's really great, the emailing.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah, Sarah's great.
She was complimenting you.
Emailing is very like great. Sometimes people don't always check their email.
All right, well, thank you all so much. You're welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to go home. And so our next one is step advance request for P Zorro.
And so this item is a request for advanced step placement for Prithvi Zorro. He's our newly hired payroll specialist. Mr. Zorro holds a degree from UC Berkeley with a focus in AI management and data analysis, along with relevant technical certifications. He brings experience in payroll and personnel systems from his service as a Air Force management tech in the U.S. Air Force, as well as demonstrated technical ability in his work with the district. Because payroll is a hard to fill area and his background far exceeds the minimum qualifications, step 5 placement is recommended.
Great. I'll just start us off saying, I always love to see us hiring veterans, so this is great. And I appreciate the work here. Any other questions or comments?
And Mr. Zorro's not online.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, yeah, his qualifications seem enormous, and I think he's going to be a great benefit to our school district. So, depending on what Chairperson Goldstein thinks.
I'm sort of,
I'm supportive.
great.
Oh, she doesn't.
Oh, hey, there you are. We didn't notice the big head looking down on us from the screen. All right, is there a motion?
I'll move approval for Mr. Zorro at step 5.
I second.
All right, can we have a roll call vote?
Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roder.
Yes.
All right. Finally, we have a request for reclassification, or not finally, but the last of our individual requests, from Y. Gibson.
So, I'm presenting a reclass request from Ms. Yolanda Gibson. She's currently classified as a clerical assistant 3. After conducting 2 in-person desk audits, it was found that her duties significantly exceed her current classification and align more with the responsibilities of an admin assistant 3. Yolanda provides primary admin support for both the Learns Expanded Learning Program, which serves 12 sites in the district, and she will soon be providing support for the BEARS program as well. She independently manages our personnel action forms. She tracks staffing and attendance, timesheet verification, budget monitoring, purchasing, travel arrangements, and hiring logistics. And she does this all independently. And she previously held the clerical specialist position. This was a position that we had in the district before the last class comp study, and she was paid at a range 34. But it has then since been eliminated. So she was grandfathered in at a range 42, which is still her current pay. So given the scope and the complexity of her work, we are recommending an admin assistant 3 reclassification.
One question I have is, what's her current step and what will be her new step?
So her current step is a range 38.
Where is she, what step is she in?
Oh, I'm sorry, she's a step 5.
Okay, she'll be moving to step 5.
But she is, her range is actually 42 step 5.
Right.
She will be moving, so the way that they calculate, advancements when you reclass is that they will place you at the new range, in the new position in the step that gives you at least 5%
Okay,
increase.
and do we know which one that is in this case?
I don't actually.
Okay, no worries.
Usually HR will calculate it when.
Step 1. Okay, step 1.
From 42 to 52, so yeah, it looks, from what I can tell, it will be a step.
Great. Any other questions from my fellow commissioners?
No questions from me.
All right, is there a motion?
Questions? I concur with our executive director's review of this work assignment, and therefore I move reclassification to clerical assistant 3.
Administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant 3.
She was in the room, in the Zoom room, but I no longer see.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, if she wants to jump on later, she's welcome to give comment if she resumes. And I also just wanted to apologize to her. I know that was quite a delay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate staff working to get that done. And given the circumstances, but glad to make it happen finally. Is there a second?
Let me just make sure that I've got this straight. So the attachment that's on page 71, that's a for prior or
Yes.
for existing. I
Correct.
see it like that. It's gonna be the new one. Okay.
And it
Administrative
should be,
assistant.
the new one is
Mhm.
there. On
Oh, it
page
is?
Yeah, right
74,
after.
page 74. I included the current one and then. the new
Oh,
one.
yes. Yep. I looked at the one thing. Thank you.
Is there a second to the motion? Or was
I
there a motion?
second.
Yes, I move approval to administrative assistant 3. I was corrected.
All righty, and can we have a roll call vote?
Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert.
Aye.
Commissioner Roder.
Yes.
Okay, so finally, on conference items, we have our approval of our new classification for the Personnel Commission itself. So this is the Personnel Analyst, which will be replacing the Supervisor position.
So, this request is for our personnel analyst position. I'm proposing a salary placement at range 61 on the classified salary schedule. This position is being proposed to the elimination of our former classified personnel supervisor position that reported to the PC. It was demoted due to the district-wide budget cuts, and that position remains unfilled, but we still have the same operational demands in the PC, such as our high volume recruitment, our complex exam development, and then our summer school staffing. So the proposed personnel analyst position retains the core analytical and operational duties of the former supervisor, but it does exclude the formal supervisory responsibilities. I've reviewed both internal and external alignments that can be found in the packet here, and found that range 61 is most appropriate salary placement. So it places the role between the current or the former HR analyst position and the current senior HR analyst classification. And it reflects the expertise and the autonomy that's required, but also still offers that cost savings that we were looking for. So in short, the proposal maintains critical services that we need in the PC, and then honors our fiscal responsibilities. And then therefore I'm respectfully recommending approval of the personnel analyst classification and salary placement at range 61.
Thank you very much. Before I go to commissioner questions and comments, I wanted to see if we had anyone from the district who could speak to the district's position on this recommendation, and see if there was any feedback from
I would
HR.
like to speak.
Please.
So the district is in support of this. We are not taking it to the board for approval in the way that we take any other positions, because of the fact that this is a personnel commission only classification. But it will be going to the board on as an information item so that it does get the publicity. So it will be going on our next board meeting, which won't be until September 17th. Our September 3rd board meeting has been canceled due to a lack of quorum. But we are in support of this position and this job description.
All right, thank you very much. I'll turn to commissioners with questions and comments. Go ahead.
I do have a question on this one. If I may, and it's just to make sure that the position has no confidential related duties with respect to bargaining.
No, it does
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
not. Sorry, it does not have any confidential related duties.
Okay.
And I do want to address a typo in the draft job description. Under basic function, it should be under the direction of the assigned administrator, the personnel analyst, not the human resources analyst.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I had a question or a suggestion, and the two of you may or may not agree, but I thought it might be appropriate, as far as the title is concerned, to title this something like Personnel Commission Analyst, just to make it clear that this is a position, as our Assistant Superintendent mentioned, this is a position that is exclusively for the Personnel Commission, and it's not a wider HR or district-wide position. And given the fact that, as was pointed out to me earlier, under the Education Code, it is the commission that has the authority to set the duties and responsibilities, unlike all other jobs in the district. So that's my suggestion. I'd like to hear what my fellow commissioners and our executive director think about calling this Personnel Commission Analyst.
I support that. I think more clarity is better, but
So the only issue I have with that is just as far as like recruitment goes. I think when we advertise a position that's personnel commission,
And what is a
it might
commission?
disqualify candidates, or they might disqualify themselves because they don't know what the personnel commission is, and so they might see this as something, that they're not, that they don't meet qualifications for. That's
a good point.
is
But
it,
I'm not opposed to keeping that somewhere in the job title, like personnel analyst, parentheses, personnel commission, or something like that. But
is it, I mean, I see that, the department/school is personnel commission.
Mhm.
Can we say personnel commission exclusive? Like, Or is there another place we can indicate that this is solely for the Personnel Commission?
Like in a job posting, we can put that anywhere, yeah. we can-
Or not even necessarily for a job posting, but for internal
Oh, for
purposes. I think that to Commissioner Roeder's point, the idea is making sure like other, folks don't in the future, once some institutional memory is lost, think, oh, this is a personnel, position. I'll, do this in the budget office or in the HR department.
Correct.
So if somewhere on this, we want to flag Personnel Commission kind of exclusive.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, frankly, now that I've heard Erin's rationale, I'm actually convinced by her rationale that it might actually be detrimental
For hiring.
to, and it does clearly say the department is the Personnel Commission. So in terms of administrative issues, it's clear this is personnel. So depending on whether I previously convinced you and Heidi on this, I'm gonna withdraw my suggestion.
Commissioner Goldstein?
I actually don't see a reason to change it. I think that because the department is specified as the Personnel Commission, and because we call it a personnel analyst as opposed to an HR analyst, I think we distinguish enough.
Great. I had one kind of pedantic suggestion, which is under licenses and other requirements. It says ability to use an alternative mode of transportation to perform job duties. And just in the context, alternative to what is not really clear. I know that the reason for this language is because of the recent change to state law about driver's license. So I thought it would be appropriate to change it to something like ability to use a mode of transportation to perform job duties or drive, whatever, just to make it clear that, you don't have to use an alternative mode of transportation. If you want to drive, you can.
Yeah.
Though we certainly encourage people to take the bus or bike, but or scooter, or whatever alternative transportation they'd like. Otherwise, I just wanted to thank our district partners for their assistance with this and getting this through speedily. I'm really glad we can all work as a team and make these things happen to everyone's benefit. Are there any other changes, questions, or comments on this item?
I have one other question on the chart that's on page 94. So this position would be paid more than the budget analyst one, but paid. Would they be paid, would the person be, where does the senior human resource analyst fit in? Is that
It's right there.
61 or 67?
It's the senior HR analyst is right there.
Oh, 66. I see, I'm missing how to read these charts. Okay, so that's 66. So this is in between those two and then higher than also budget analyst 2 and budget analyst 2 confidential.
No, so if you look at it across, so it's between budget analyst 1 and budget analyst 2. The 61,
And budget analyst 2,
so if you read it across the chart.
right? So there's 61, and so again, so there's 61
Mhm.
and
So they're all
but
aligned.
senior resources analyst is 66.
But budget analyst 2 is 67.
Is 67. So this is between, oh boy,
The 1 and the 2 of the budget analyst positions and
the
between-
1 and the 2, and also between senior resources analyst too, also.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the ones ranges 69 and 74 are just not filled. They're available in the future if we need them.
There are other positions in the district that are in those. I didn't put them here because they weren't as relevant, but we have like a business systems analyst at 74. That's like the highest paid position,
I
and
see.
but they just weren't as relevant internally. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for bearing with me and
No worries.
explaining how to read that chart.
All right, Commissioner Goldstein, any further comments or questions?
I think the only comment I'm going to make is, I think, in the scheme of where it's placed, we may find ourselves revisiting this. I think the position probably is undercompensated. but I'm fine to go with what we have here. And you know, let's see how the recruitment goes. Let's see what we get.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll move approval, and I guess it's subject to the change that was suggested regarding, is it the ability to use a mode of transportation to perform job duties?
Instead of alternative.
Right. Okay.
Is there a second?
And the HR.
I'll second.
HR, yes. All right, and can we have a roll call vote?
Yes, Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Alpert.
Aye.
And Commissioner Roeder.
Yes.
All right, that concludes our conference items. We move on to discussion items. They'll already significantly discussed, but as always, the most discussed item at any personnel commission meeting, which is IA speds. Let's hear about our staffing report.
So I have provided copies of an ISPED report that staff and I were able to work on just recently. Unfortunately, we didn't get included in time to include in the agenda, but we will be including it in the published agenda after the meeting. But I can just explain what's in the report. It's a draft, so this item is the IA sped recruitment and staffing report. As we know, the special ed department, the district have committed to reducing the number of contractors that we have. And so to support that initiative, the Personnel Commission is committed to running IA sped recruitment every 2 weeks and also holding job fairs like similar to the ones that we held over the summer. We've also partnered with ACOE on their para project program, and we actually went in person to one of those hiring events, and there were about 85 paraeducators that were graduating from that program, and we got to recruit them to our fair so that they could apply and test. So in that report, that attached draft report, you'll see that all of the IA sped positions in the district. So we have there those that are filled by employees. I also highlighted the new hires, and these are all new positions that were onboarded in August. And then
Erin, I'm
yes?
wondering if this is something that you can send to me via email or a
yeah.
document share?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah will send you one right now.
Are we looking at something or you're just describing it?
We're looking at hard copy.
We're looking at a hard copy and we'll email it to you.
But we could
Got it.
email.
Okay. Thank you.
And so, yeah, so you'll see the employees, the current employees listed. Our current IA2 sped employees are newly hired IA sped employees, and then also the current vacancies. This report is changing every hour. So just, a few hours ago, we had to update it before we printed it. We're onboarding several IA speds, so I'm confident that by next month, it'll look very different. What I did have a challenging time getting was the contractor report. It does exist. It has been worked on. Unfortunately, the report that I saw hadn't been updated. The contractor report hadn't been updated for, I think it was like the last 2 weeks before school started.
Which is a very important period.
Yeah, and that's when we were doing most of the onboarding. So I wasn't able to identify what contractors were eliminated right before school started. So I think by next month, we'll have a better picture of, what positions are filled with contractors. We also did an audit of limited term subs because we know often limited term subs will fill these vacancies. We did not find any limited term subs filling vacancies at the time, which is surprising. So as of, yesterday when we looked at it. So I'm open to feedback from the commissioners, how you want to see this report brought forward to the meetings. And I do think that it's a good idea to bring this report forward for at least the next couple of weeks while we have so many vacancies. We also plan to set up a subcommittee for Izzy's request to review this report together and then to also discuss the process for, hiring, staffing, and then phasing out the contractors. Unfortunately, key staff were out during the summer, and then we have a few staff that are detrimental to this project that are still off right now, and so
Not
we're
detrimental.
hoping that, sorry, that are, sorry, that we're hoping, it's detrimental not to have them.
Yes.
And so we're hoping to, and so we're hoping that they will be available in September, but with the school starting, it was a challenge to get that committee formed.
Great.
But now we have a tool to look at when we check in, and so we're hoping to have, some progress made by next month on the committee end. So.
One little bit of suggestion is, I think that for me, the really important number is like total number of positions and FTEs, total number of employed, total number of units. So if the kind of first thing we saw was how many total positions are there in FTEs, and then within that, how many are filled, how many are new hires, and how many are vacant. Because knowing where which location is somewhat useful, but kind of the overall, that big picture is kind of what I'm mostly looking for.
Yeah. How about
I
you?
have a few thoughts on this. Is now a good time to share?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Can you
thank you.
go? Hi.
Yeah, thank you. So I agree, some summary numbers would be useful. I think also in light of the fact that I know the district is trying to figure out a way to combine after school and IA positions, it might be useful to keep the location just because we know that work is coming. Something that I think would be helpful, and I don't know, maybe you could do it as a color code or italic type or something. We're starting to source folks either through the ACOE program, to train IAs, or through things like our big job fair. And I just wonder if there is a way, particularly for the new hires, that we can somehow, flag where they're coming from.
Great suggestion.
Yeah.
So those are my comments, as I look at it.
Thank you.
So I agree both with Vice Chairperson Alpert on the sort of totals of each of the categories. I also think it's very useful to have the site locations included. For one thing, when this was brought to the Board of Education and was adopted for the additional FTE, that was site-specific as well. So I think having both of those is really good. I think Heidi's suggestion, whether it be in this particular type of a form or chart, or whether it be something set aside that you can hand out or whatever, knowing where people are coming from, I think will inform us as to, what works and what doesn't work as far as recruiting is concerned. So I think that's a good idea. So am I understanding then correctly, for all the ones that are vacant, we can't assume right now, or can we, that those are currently filled by contractors?
When we looked at the information we received from special ed with contractor names listed, they just did not match. And so because that hadn't been updated, it's really hard to tell whether these vacancies are actually being filled by contractors or if they're just vacant. I looked to see if maybe there were limited term subs in there, and we didn't find that. So my assumption is that most of these vacancies are filled by contractors, but we just found it hard to match the number of vacancies with the number of contractors. But also, we are aware that so much has changed in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So, and that, unfortunately, that spreadsheet that I received hadn't been updated by the department. So, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, it was something set up right before school started, like a week or two before school started. And then we're just onboarding every day. So, it's really hard to tell. But my assumption is that for every contractor, there is a vacancy, because that was the whole idea, is that every contractor was going to be matched up to a position, and a position was going to be established. So, and because I've not seen any limited term subs in those assignments, I'm thinking there may be contractors in those vacancies.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And just to reiterate, I think what you just said, just put it in my own words, that there wouldn't be a contractor working in a position at a site that isn't on this chart.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. That was how, like when the numbers were determined as far as how many positions to create, it was because that's how many, I think at the time they did an audit of contractors. So they identified how many contractors working at each site and converted those into positions.
Well, I think that's a very important control, that there isn't a contract, there isn't a contractor working at a site that isn't on the chart. And if there is, then we need to know.
Yeah.
We need to know why, or somebody
Yeah.
needs to know.
I mean, if we find that there are more contractors than there are vacancies,
Yes,
then that's gonna be, a flag for us,
good. And
So-
you'll follow up on, if
Yeah.
that occurs.
if that
It
occurs.
may not occur.
Samantha has her hand up.
Oh, Samantha
Tobias.
wants to comment on this.
Go ahead.
Okay, great.
Yes, so I do want to comment on this, and I agree that that's a very important factor, and that we will continue to track that and support Erin in tracking that, as well as making sure that we have an updated report on that for you at the next Personnel Commission meeting.
Awesome. Thank you very
On
much.
Thank
what
you.
positions are filled by what, and making sure that we don't have contractors working in non-existing positions.
Can I also ask, Sam, I know that the census doesn't lock until early October. So I'm guessing that the overall counts may change. Right now it looks like this is a list of about 192 entries. It looks like there are about 50 that are vacant that we're assuming are contractors. So part of it is, validating it against the contractor list. But I am also wondering how we validate against changes in population until the thing locks.
So I can confirm that with our program supervisors in special ed, in terms of like, have we seen a flux in where the special education students are attending?
Right.
I do know one of our changes that happened this year that is in flux and may and will, I'm not going to say may because it will continue to change, is that we have a new SDC class for our TK through first graders at Malcolm X.
Mhm.
And so we did not staff that class as if it was going to be full, because we didn't have enough students committed to there. So there will be a shifting in staffing as we get more students enrolled.
Mhm.
But I will also check and make sure that we are checking in terms of like no-show students and where staff is and all of that. I do know we have had some shifts where we have had staff where they haven't had an assignment, where things have been shifted already this school year.
Right.
So we will get you as much of an updated in terms of where the positions are, where they should be, who's filling them, and making sure that there's not anybody as a contractor working when there isn't a position.
So I think what this means for our purposes, and the ghost students I know are always the hardest ones to get a hold on, right? So you make your best guess by, the close date for census. So, what I think for purposes of the commission is, if Erin starts giving us summary numbers, just understanding that there may be some flux in those until census date closes.
Yeah.
And, and then we're working, in theory with, a stable number, but, people come and go, students come and go during the year, so
Life is messy.
it's still a little bit of a moving target.
Yeah, we do have, we've been over 100%. We're on day 11 of school.
Mhm.
And we've had over 100% of our enrollment figures, actually show up. So we are doing well.
Okay.
And so, Francisco does this fabulous calculation that I couldn't even pretend to put my head around, in terms of enrollment and all of that. And so, we did things like we added 5 TK classes and all of that. And I was in a meeting today. We have 100 more high school students than when we were anticipating. So we're adjusting things as we are in this time period, as is necessary as the students show up. So yes, by October, we should have a much more stable, but it will never be exact because
Right.
we never know when students move in or out.
Right.
100
You know,
more.
the good news is, I think with that is once we have a stable number, we know that, if there are still contractors, we know the target number we're trying to, replace with real hires. And, we should then start to be able to see, whatever the variance is against, the census number. That's what the contractor number probably looks like.
Yeah. And the other thing is to look at the types of contractors. So we do also have some positions that we do not have as a classification in our district. RBTs being one of them, another one being CNAs or LVNs that we are looking at creating within this year, so that we can hire our own people. So we are working towards that. And we're working, of course, with Aaron as well as with Frank and the rest of the BCCE leadership on that.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
I just did just a little quick math. So it looks like there's 102 current employees, 40 new hires, and 49 vacant positions on this current report. So pretty good progress. Go ahead.
Another comment, I think something, and maybe this goes along with what Heidi was saying, I'm not sure, but as we go forward with a chart like this, it seems there's going to be, I assume, attrition. That there's gonna be some employee who are currently on the chart as employees who quit or whatever, and they're not gonna be,
We've already had.
Okay, so they're not gonna be employees. That position might be filled, might be listed as vacant and filled by a contractor, or maybe that position will be filled by a new hire. I think it would be useful to know for, the churning that occurs. Is that employee being filled by a contractor or being filled by a new hire? And it may be that for a month filled by a contractor, and then we're in the process of onboarding a new hire and the person gets filled by a new hire.
And that's what contract is supposed to be for.
And that's fine.
Right.
And that's totally fine. But I think that would be useful.
Indicate a newly vacant position.
Something
Try to
along
find a
those
way to
lines.
indicate that it's newly vacant and show if it's, if we're already onboarding an employee or if there's a contractor.
Right, right. There's 3 possibilities. It stays vacant for a month or whatever. A new hire takes it, or a contractor
Or a
takes it.
substitute.
But it could be a substitute or a limited term too,
Yeah.
and that would be helpful information.
Okay.
The last thing yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's not really on the chart, it's on this subcommittee that Aaron was talking about, whether it's subcommittee, task force, however one wants to describe it. My feeling continues to be that on this subcommittee, one of the commissioners I think a commissioner should serve as a member of the subcommittee. And then I think we should also have what do you call it, an alternate who, in the absence of the regular commissioner, can serve on the subcommittee. Just because I think that somebody sort of outside the district's bureaucracy, for want of a better term, who can kind of push things along as much as possible would be a useful thing to have. So again, I don't know if everybody else in the room agrees with that or not, but that is my feeling.
I agree.
You know, a question that kind of ties to that, and it's not an immediate data tracking thing, but it is something that I think we're going to want to know, is certainly for employees and new hires. I would also be interested to know at what step these folks work. Okay, because I have, you know, on the strength of our class and comp study, which told us that these positions were, you know, in need of correction in terms of salary scale. You know, we got that bit of feedback. And when I look at the volume of step placements that come through, you know, this is disproportionately represented as a position. And, you know, we can continue to do it this way, you know, or we can start to gather some data and really understand, you know, where are we on this? Is it making us competitive? And in terms of tenure, you know, is it helping us retain people? So I understand that's a lot of additional data, you know, to put for each of these entries. But and that's probably the sort of thing a subcommittee would want to work on, because it's not just, you know, are we successfully, you know, routing out contractor roles with full-time hires, but this is a good opportunity for a high velocity position to really understand, are we making the kind of changes that help our retention, and is our wage competitive?
Yeah. Yeah, if Frank were here, he would speak to that, because he has asked that we consider just recruiting at a higher step and how that would look, you know, given.
Frank is here. It looks like he's
He just stepped.
No, he's on Zoom.
Oh, he's on Zoom. Okay, so.
Mhm.
But yes, he has asked that we consider that, but having that data would be helpful. So we will do our best to see what tools we can come up with to get that information.
Right. I don't think for, you know, phase one, we need
Yeah.
it, but I think ultimately we are going to want it.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I was doing some little bit of math on this too, as we all have. And if we can believe, and you know, I think the numbers, whether they're inflated or whatever, may not be accurate, but they're the numbers we have, and they're the numbers that have been given to the school board. $27, and we heard from the employees who got hired, who were agency employees, that they were certainly
All three of them were.
I think so,
Yeah.
underpaid, and that if the child didn't show up that day, they may not get paid. At
Oh,
any
that just
rate,
sounded like wage theft. That sounded so wrong. I really hope that wasn't happening.
but supposedly, $27 per contractor that is replaced, on average, that's replaced by a new hire.
$27,000.
$27,000.
Right.
It's not an hourly, it's an annual, $27,000. And I did a little bit of math, and it came out, if you had 46 employees, which were the number on our eligibility list. That's the number I took, 46, but that's sounding in the general ballpark. That's $1,242,000. That's a lot of money to be saving, and there's still more to be done.
Yes.
So, you know, this is not small potatoes. This is a big deal for the district.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you, Sam, for being on and for answering our questions, and for addressing these things. And we look forward to hearing more next month. Our next item is closed session. It is 6:43. And I know we have a hard stop. Heidi, your hard stop is at 7 or 7:30?
7:30. 7:30.
Do we had discussed a little bit about continuing this. I know that Aaron is fine continuing our closed session. Do you want to continue until next month so that we can all be in person and not really have any time constraints?
Well, Heidi was also suggesting maybe a special call meeting for this purpose.
That'd be fine.
Which I'd be up to. My feeling is I don't want to give this short shrift. I don't, I think this is, useful and important evaluation, kind of midterm, so to speak. And I want to give it the time that it deserves, but whatever Heidi and you feel.
I guess,
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead,
go
Heidi.
ahead, Sully.
I was gonna say I lean towards continuing, but I'm flexible.
One thing that I thought, and this is just when Aaron and I were having our planning call here. And Aaron, you can tell me if we still have the backlog. There was a backlog, I thought, of items that didn't make it into conference for this meeting. That had to do with new hires who were requesting step increases, and I'm not sure how much of that still exists.
Well, we've communicated, because they didn't meet the deadline, we did communicate with those new hires that it would be taken to the September meeting. So, it's not so much of a backlog anymore, just that we are going to process a lot of new step advances, and maybe we could look at considering them as, consent items at the next meeting, or we could just do them individually, just depending on how many there are, because there might be a
Do
lot.
we have an idea of how many more we think we're gonna get?
I think there will be more than this meeting. Maybe.
Wow, because we have like 8 in this meeting, right? 6 or 7 or 8.
1, 2,
No,
3,
it
4.
was-
We had 5.
It was only 5. And maybe
Well,
closer.
5 for IA, but okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, right, 5 for step advance. Okay.
Well, Heidi and Solly, would it be reasonable to have a special call meeting that we set up before our regular meeting at the end of September?
I'm fine with
And
that.
combine step increase with Aaron's evaluation?
I would not want to do, I wouldn't want to do step increases at a special meeting if it were in the middle of the day, because it kind of makes it harder for the folks to show up if they would like to. But definitely for the closed session, I would support it.
I don't have a problem actually doing both, if we need to. I think it's important to jump on the step increases quickly because they come effective, when we decide them.
That's true.
Right.
In that case, I guess, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You get it.
I was just gonna say, as long as we schedule it for later in the afternoon or closer to 5, so that folks feel like they can show up,
Mhm.
then I'm fine.
We can look into and see what we do have so far.
Yeah.
And then I can confirm with you all whether that's gonna be necessary. Because we notified employees our deadline for this meeting, and we let them know that if they didn't meet this deadline, we would push it to the September meeting.
Okay.
So they're aware, and they didn't submit their documentation just yet. And if they did, though, we can look into that, and then I can report back to you all.
Great.
Okay. All right.
So it sounds like we're of a mind to continue this to a special meeting to be scheduled for later next month.
Before our
Well,
regular meeting.
early next month, because Erin is away.
In the
Erin
first half.
takes a holiday, right? And Erin, you're leaving on the 5th?
No, the 8th,
The
Okay,
8th.
so
Okay.
it would have to be the first week.
it would have to be next week.
And you'll be back, Heidi?
Yes.
Great, okay. Yeah, I'm available, certainly.
The 2nd or the 3rd, and then I
Yeah.
can coordinate, if we
Yeah,
want to.
I'm broadly available both those days.
By you, Izzy? 2nd or the 3rd?
I'm available 2nd and 3rd. The only day that week that I'm not available is in the afternoon of the 4th.
The only thing is, we have a
Then
school
Heidi
board
and I-
meeting on that 3rd, right? Oh, no, they canceled.
They canceled it.
So-
And then Heidi and I checked in about her dates as well. We
Cool.
talked about the
Right.
2nd and 3rd.
Great.
Yeah, 2nd or 3rd is.
All right, seeing, do we have to take an action to continue that?
Well,
I think we just want to say that we continue, that we decided, in the name of time versus what we have to do, we continuing.
We continue. Okay. In that case, so we'll continue at 10 and 11. Is there additional public comment? Are there any members of the public on Zoom who would like to give comment? If so, please raise your hand at this time. Seeing none, our next meeting will be a special meeting, hopefully on the 2nd or 3rd, but then our next regular meeting will be on September 24th at 4:30. Great.
Yeah,
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
A motion by Commissioner Roeder, second by Commissioner Goldstein. Can we have a roll call vote?
Sure. Chairperson Goldstein,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alpert,
Aye.
Commissioner Roeder.
Yes. And we are adjourned.
All right.
Thank you, Heidi.
All right.